Nothing to win. Here's how it works. I'm going to give you a series of 5 clues ranging from 4 to 8 points. Add those up, and you'll get 30. Now, the hook is each point value represents the number of letters in a correct answer. For instance, if I said its capital city is Des Moines, you'd say Iowa. Every correct answer takes the points from your score. In this case, saying Iowa for 4 points would take you to 26. Get all 5 right, and you end up with 0. It's that simple. Let's get started. Good luck. The category for today's game is on the road, things associated with driving. For 4 points, give me the last name of the businessman who famously said you can have any color of his vehicle as long as it's black. That businessman's last name was Ford, Henry Ford to be exact. He made the quip in his 1922 autobiography, and it referred to his Model T. According to Ford, black was the cheapest color, and using just one color kept the assembly line moving. The company eventually added more colors in 1926. So if you got that right, you now have 26 points. Here comes the 5-point clue. The Midwestern rubber capital of the U.S. The Midwestern rubber capital of the U.S.? Akron, Ohio. In addition to being the birthplace of LeBron James, Akron is also home to nearly a half dozen tire manufacturers, including Firestone and Goodyear. In 1870, Dr. Benjamin Franklin Goodrich opened the first tire factory in North America. You might know it as B.F. Goodrich. Rolling into the 6-point clue, the third pedal. Did you come through in the clutch with that answer? Because if you did, take 6 points off your score. While it seems like an endangered species in the US, there are still close to 30 cars and trucks that offer a manual transmission. Meanwhile, some drivers have gone to great lengths to save the manual, despite more automakers opting to produce electric vehicles. Going into our last 2 clues, here comes the 7-pointer. The defunct automaker that gave us the Bonneville and Sunbird. We're showing our age with this next clue. The defunct automaker that gave us the Bonneville and Sunbird was Pontiac. Named for a Native American chief, GM, General Motors, founded the Pontiac brand in 1926. After decades of building excitement amongst drivers, Pontiac rolled its final car off the assembly line in 2008. All right, here it is, the final clue. This is for 8 points. How are you doing so far? The safety feature that became mandatory in vehicles in 1968. Buckle up, folks. The safety feature that became mandatory in 1968 was none other than the seatbelt. Consumer activist Ralph Nader's 1965 book, Unsafe at Any Speed, highlighted the need for safer cars. The book resulted in several new laws, as well as the creation of the U.S. Department of Transportation and the National Highway Traffic Safety Commission. Thursday afternoon football. The NFL season officially kicks off tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles hosting their hated rivals from Dallas. With the season starting tonight, today's clues are all about the history of the National Football League and even the AFL, the American Football League. Here we go. Oh, that was terrible. Here comes that 4-point clue. Last name of the team owner credited with coining the phrase Super Bowl. The first 2 Super Bowls were actually called the AFL NFL Championship game. Kansas City Chiefs owner Lamar Hunt suggested the name Super Bowl, which was inspired by his child's toy, the Super Ball. At first, no one really took the name seriously, but the media began using the phrase Super Bowl, and it quickly caught on and was used starting with the 3rd championship game in January 1969. The next clue is worth a field goal and a safety or 5 points. Movie that infamously interrupted a pivotal 1968 game. It's November 1968, and the New York Jets traveled to Oakland to face John Madden's Raiders in a crucial AFL showdown. The game turned into a shootout, and the Jets nursed a 3-point lead with about a minute to go. However, around 7 p.m., NBC switched to its movie of the week, Heidi. Despite running a crawl that explained the outcome of the game, a Raiders comeback win, by the way, irate viewers lit up the network switchboards by the thousands. The Jets, however, got their revenge over Oakland in the AFL title game and went on to win Super Bowl III following Joe Namath's infamous guarantee. Here now, the 6 point clue: only team with no current emblem on its helmet. In 1944, this football team started its operations as part of the All America Football Conference. That team was named after a legendary coach whose success followed him wherever he went. Although he wanted the team name to be the Panthers, team owner Arthur McBride decided to name them the Cleveland Browns instead, after head coach Paul Brown, who would later claim the team was named for boxer Joe the Brown Bomber Lewis before admitting he was indeed the namesake. Of course, the Panthers would join the NFL about 50 years later. Playing now for a touchdown and extra point, here comes your 7 point clue. Only NFL team with a Super Bowl MVP on the losing side. Super Bowl V is known for being one of the sloppiest championships of all time, with both teams committing nearly a dozen turnovers. The game came down to a late fourth quarter drive, with the Baltimore Colts hitting a game winning field goal over the Dallas Cowboys. Chuck Howley was the game's MVP, and a fun fact for you: the Cowboys are also the only team with two MVPs in the same game, Harvey Martin and Randy White in Super Bowl 12, which Dallas won over Denver 27-10. And no, we're not going to do a history lesson on how long ago the Cowboys' glory years were. We're just going to go to that final clue of the game worth 8 points. NFL's Titletown. Even as a Dallas fan, I would be remiss if I did a quiz on the league and didn't include the Green Bay Packers. Currently, the Pack has 4 Super Bowl trophies, of course, named for legendary coach Vince Lombardi. The team won the first 2 Super Bowls, or AFL NFL championships, and before that claimed another 9 NFL titles dating back to 1929. What happens in Vegas? These are all clues about tourism and the history of Sin City, Las Vegas. Here we go for 4 points. Vegas's WNBA team. If you have not watched any of their games, or any WNBA games for that matter, I highly recommend you do so. Coached by Becky Hammond and led by Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA Finals in 2022 and 23. The team is owned by Mark and Carol Davis, who also own the Las Vegas Raiders, and former NFL quarterback Tom Brady has a minority share in the team. Time for the 5 point clue: Texas Hold'em, or 5 card stud. Poker tournaments are a big draw in Vegas, and if you want something a little less intimidating, there are, of course, several options in the casinos where you can lose your money there. Oh, did I say that out loud? Let's go to the 6 point clue. Dam located on the Nevada-Arizona line. Completed in 1936, the Hoover Dam cost $49 million to build. That's more than $1 billion with a B. Today, adjusted for inflation, it took more than 21,000 workers to build the Hoover Dam. And the next time you're in Vegas, if you have not done so, please take a tour of the facility. Tell them we sent you. They're probably not going to know who we are, though. 7 point clue: Vegas hosted more than 75,000 of this event in 2024. In 2024, more than 75,000 couples found themselves getting hitched in a Las Vegas wedding. There are more than 50 chapels on or near the Strip alone, so no shortage of options. Say hi to whichever Elvis you see. And now, the moment I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. Here comes that final clue for 8 points. Hotel that's home to a fountain show. This hotel opened in October 1998 and features more than 1,200 fountains. These fountains have been seen in movies like Ocean's 11, amongst many others, and you can catch the waterworks every 15 to 30 minutes, weather permitting. We're talking about the Bellagio, one of the Strip's most luxurious hotels.